Okay, fellow babies, welcome to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. Appreciate all of you who are Patreon patrons or YouTube subscribers. You are keeping us afloat. If you're doing those things or not, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That's absolutely free for you. Easy to do. It's 3 clicks. There are instructions in the show description below, so check it out. And you've got to redo that every month. So if you haven't done it in a while, please link those accounts and Shane will get paid. You're sticking it to Amazon. It costs you absolutely nothing. Today's question from YouTube. I am Dodd. How successful can we ultimately expect the Switch 2 to be? It sold well to start thanks to strong supply of units and Nintendo's biggest fans. However, there isn't the same buzz as the Wii or even the original Switch. With unpredictable market conditions and the expectation that games in the console will continue getting more expensive, could Switch 2 struggle in the long term? I don't think so, but I'm basing my answer on Nintendo's performance for the last 7-8 years. Switch 1 came out in 17? Yeah, 8 years. Nintendo's had this cadence of one pretty good game a month, sometimes two or three big blockbuster type games a year, and they just haven't launched the Switch 2 with that yet. So we've had one blockbuster game, we've had one very good game with Donkey Kong Bonanza. But I think you're going to have to get through a year or two and see if they get to that cadence, and I expect that they will. They're really working hard on third-party support, and my buddy John Vignacchi is in charge of that, and he's doing a great job. But, how excited are you that you get Civilization and Cyberpunk on the Switch 2? I mean, you already had a chance to buy them elsewhere. So yes, they're both really good games, both on PC, so it's not like you couldn't have played them before. I personally am excited about them and I'm going to play them, but it's not a system seller the same way. So Johnny's done a great job, but really the system seller is the first party software. I would give them through this Christmas. I'd wait until April, May next year and see what they talk about for the lineup for next year. Typically, they announce things between GDC and their earnings call for the March quarter. So sometime between mid-March and end of April, you're going to get announcements of what's coming next year. And then ask that question. My bias is they'll get back to that same cadence. They have the same number of studios. They're working at about the same pace. So I expect you're going to get 12 good games a year at least and 3 big blockbusters a year at least. And I would say this thing sells about exactly the same as the Switch.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. It's time to find out why everyone is buying homes in Montana. Right now, Doug DeShazer has a beautiful single-level home with a triple-car garage available in the best neighborhood in Libby, Montana. This custom 3-bed, 2.5-bath home has a 500 square foot patio for entertaining. It's built to last with solid wood core doors, Anderson windows, an asphalt driveway, central AC and heat, and a private well to run its sprinkler system. The price was recently reduced, and owner financing is available with 20% down. No matter where you're looking to buy in the US, Doug DeShazer is licensed to help. Make him your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643, or go to LibbyMontanaRealEstate.com.
So I think you're going to end up with, whatever that number is, $20 million a year for the next 5 years. And, the first year, no, price is a little too high. Once it gets down to under $400, yeah, I think you're going to probably pop back up to $20 million. And they need the software. There's no reason to jump out and buy it right now to play one game. And that's really what's going on. So the first 5 million people who had to play Mario Kart World are playing it, and Christmas will bring out another 5 million, and the first full year they'll probably get to their 15, 16 million. But let's get a Zelda title, let's get a Smash Brothers title, let's get a Super Mario Brothers title. We're going to need some stuff, Pikmin. You're going to need those types of things to kind of keep the console in demand steadily throughout. And I'd say the other big factor is you got to kind of discontinue the Switch 1. So you'll start to see 20 million of demand when price is under $400 and Switch 1 is gone. So that's probably a 2027 event. And so I'd wait a year or two and then see if they get their act together. But yeah, I'd say pretty close to Switch 1. I think Nintendo's going to be a steady seller for a long time. If the Switch 2 stays at $449 and goes up to $500 because of tariffs, no, they're not going to sell as many as they did Switch 1. If the Switch 2 is able to come down to $399, which is kind of a post-tariff thing, then I think they have a chance of mirroring Switch 1. That has not been their practice the last few years. Like, they have not lowered the price of the Switch 1. In fact, they went the other way. They raised the Switch 1. What they did do was they segmented the Switch 1 by bringing in the OLED version and then lowering the price of the standard and lowering the price on the Switch Lite. So that's how I think you can lower price. But no, if Switch 2 doesn't get a price cut, if it stays at a 25%, 30% premium to the Switch 1, they're not going to sell as many units. It's just too expensive. So again, I don't know what they're going to do. I would encourage them to think about passing through any long-term component cost savings that they're going to get to consumers, because really they're all about selling software. And if they can keep their margin on hardware constant, then I think they're going to sell just as many units as they sold the Switch 1. So we'll see. I really don't know what they're going to do. I mean, you're not going to get buzz until the games are out. This thing is no different than the PS4 to PS5. It's just no different. It's just like an upgraded version of the same thing. And nobody really says, oh, my PS5 just shits all over my PS4. It's like the same thing. You're just waiting for games. So no, Nintendo, for the first time since the NES and Super NES, has iterated on the same device. Before, I mean, you could say maybe the DS, the 3DS iterated a little bit. The GBA and the GBA SP iterated a little bit. But this is not an iteration. It's the same device. So yes, you're not going to get buzz because it's so familiar. It just feels like Mission Impossible 8 versus Mission Impossible 7. I'd really like to see Nintendo do something with like DS titles and GBA titles and do some type of a mobile subscription or connected TV subscription that doesn't require hardware, because I think they could offer that, win a lot of people over to playing all their old games, and then have people really interested in playing newer titles on the Switch too. So again, I think they can broaden their audience by 100 million, by charging $5 a month for a subscription on a connected TV or a phone, and let people play Super Mario 3, the Mario Brothers 3, things like that, which are, again, great GBA and DS titles that people would love. And play Zelda Ocarina of Time. I mean, stuff like that. They can bring those games out, and people will really be into that. That's it for today's question. Thank you for joining me on Pachter Factor, my fellow babies. If you are a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber, we thank you very much. Whether you're subscribed or not, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. We get paid for that, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Super easy to do. Check out the instructions on how to do so in the show description below. And remember to do it every month. If you haven't done it in a month, we're not getting paid. So go check it out. 3 clicks. Shane gets $250. You're a god. He will thank you personally when he sees you. Anybody who walks up to me or Shane on the street and says, I connected my Amazon Prime account to my Twitch Prime account, I will thank you personally. You can do it on Blue Sky. Tell me you did it. I will give you a shout out. I promise. It's a cool thing to do. I don't get paid, but Shane does. It's important that Shane gets paid so we can keep this show alive. So thank you very, very, very much. I will see you guys next week.